Sir, what are the differences between Indian kings of those days and the present chief ministers of Indian provinces?
You see, when we talk of Indian kings, you must ignore the kings of some 200 years from now on. If you go back to a period which is 200 years from now backwards, the kings of those days, they were not that much satisfactory in character, in discipline, and in administration. But if you go still further in history, say some 300 years back, the kings of those days lived a glorious life. If you read their history, we understand that India was enjoying a golden period of royal administration. People were abundantly happy in monarchy. When we read those pages, we have to feel very sad about the political condition of modern days. The rulers of today, they are not up to that standard. I shall bring before you, your attention, a few points. First of all, kings of those days were physically very capable. They were adepts in sword fighting, horse riding, chariot fighting, leading an army in battles, enduring physical torture, etc. You cannot expect these things from those who are in their place in modern days. Next point is, they were conscious of their liability to citizens. They knew that whatever pageantry they were enjoying were given by citizens. Citizens paid taxes. So they were dutiful. They were philanthropic, encouraging intellectuals and artists. They went in disguise into the streets and the slums of towns and villages, just to find out whether their administration was happily accepted as a just one. Whereas in modern days, show me one single person like that. You cannot. Next point is, kings were ready to die for people and the nation. They were always in the front line to lead the army in any battle. In modern days, we find rulers hiding behind the backs of police officers. Next point is, kings were never atheistic. They believed in God. They boosted religion and temples very much. Nowadays, all irreligious and anti-religious happenings are found because of them. Next, the kings of those days knew many languages. They encouraged the literature of all languages among people. But today, rulers induce language fanaticism for their own selfish ends. Next point, kings consulted wise people for each and every lawmaking and judgment. But today, rulers are surrounded by people who would play percussion in accordance with the ruler's whims and fancies. Kings repented for wrong judgments in those days. We read about kings who killed their own sons and gave up their own lives when they knew that they were unjust. You would have heard about this Manu Nidhi Choran or King Pandya who killed Kovalan. But today's rulers try to intimidate judges to pass judgments in their favor, even if they were against righteousness. Next point, kings agreed that they were responsible for natural calamities like floods, drought, fire breakout, and ill health of citizens, because they believed in Shastras. Shastras say that society will be affected by natural calamities if the king is not good. And the kings accepted it. They took necessary steps, financial, spiritual, etc. We read of yajnas, yagas, sacrifices being conducted at heavy cost for the welfare of society and country. But nowadays, yajnas are conducted at government expense for the welfare of the individual selfish ends of politicians. In short, we see an agonizing degradation of administrative virtue. That is the difference between the kings of those days and the people who are in the place of kings nowadays as politicians or ministers. We must pray to God that situations must change.